This is the Tom Bigby Tales podcast. I'm Shannon Evans, and I write about a small town, Columbus, in Northeast Mississippi. Today's episode is titled, Where's the Money? Or, what is she going to tell untruths about this time? Imagine the surprise of the Columbus Cultural, and that's not right, it's what it's called, the Columbus Lowndes Visitors Bureau board to read in the Dispatch, a local daily newspaper, that Nancy Carpenter, their director, was partially behind the decision to, quote, only have a 6-month contract when it came time for her rehire. After the board picked their jaws up, I hope they alternate between being angry, disgusted, and having a few deep belly laughs at her untruths. But honestly, Carpenter is known for hyperbole and bald-faced untruths. She lies by omission and obfuscation quite often. Remember, she signed to purchase the CVB condo that they own in 2011 from then CVB treasurer, Mark Castleberry, for an exorbitant price of $750,000. The purchase of the condo is covered in the first full episode of our podcast. She also failed to disclose to the board that she was appointed the commercial director of the building's condo HOA in perpetuity. This is the same condo HOA the CVB pays $6,000 a year in fees and association membership, that this same association, this same HOA, can pay her as their chair. We don't know if she has been paid for the duties or at what rate. However, her board was completely unaware of this highly unethical agreement, or that they had the right to appoint anyone else to take her place on the board until I pointed it out in that podcast. What a convenient omission, right? She also untruthfully told her board president and the board's attorney after this podcast that was made on September 12th of 2023 that pointed out that she was both the interim CVB director and the Columbus Cultural Heritage Foundation director and project manager when funds went missing for two signs that were being made, of which one, I believe, was only cast. This sign was to be dedicated on the centennial birthday of Tennessee Williams at the hospital site, which is now the Trustmark Bank, and they placed a representative marker in front of the bank and took a photo and announced that this sign would actually be cast. The unveiling was in March of 2011. So Carpenter, as recently as September of this year, assured the board's attorney that she was not the director of the CVB then. However, per the Dispatch's archives, Carpenter's appointment as interim director of the CVB occurred before December 21st of 2010. Clearly, she lied to the board and their attorney, per the letter received by the Tom Bigby Tales dated 12 September 2023. That states, quote, further, the Tennessee Williams marker matter took place before Nancy Carpenter became the chief executive officer of the CCVB. Close quotes. Clearly, the board took her at her word and did not bother to do any homework. It took a simple search on the local newspaper to determine that not only was she the interim CEO, it had been her project as a project manager at the Cultural Heritage Foundation, which is named for Tennessee Williams and is his home that he lived when he was born. So another untruth from Nancy Carpenter is exposed. The purchase of the Elks Club is a huge source of questions about her truthfulness as well. In the 1 December of 2015 Dispatch article, Carpenter is quoted as saying, the building was purchased for $650,000. However, It's currently only worth a little over $140,000. The original article states the CVB paid $450,000 in cash, and the Loftuses, the former owners of the building, donated the remaining $200,000. The building was purchased with promises of turning it into a children's museum to attract tourism. In the most recent article of the Dispatch about this building, posted 2 days ago on 21 September of 2023, it is stated that the CVB took out a $450,000 loan to purchase the property. Why this huge discrepancy in the story? Did the Dispatch get the first story wrong, or did Carpenter stretch the truth to the original reporter? The next story on January of 2017 indicated that Carpenter, with board member and commercial property developer Mark Castleberry, the same Mark Castleberry who owned the CVB's condo building that they purchased their condo from at an overpriced amount, thought the project for this children's museum at the Elks Club would cost between $1 to $1.5 million to complete. However, the most recent Dispatch article indicates building repairs alone will run about $700,000, and the entire project would cost between $3.5 to $5 million. Keep in mind, they still have a $450,000 debt on the building, which for some reason is not paid down. Perhaps they've taken out additional loans on the building, but it is not clear. And the building is still only appraised at $146,100. Again, the math ain't mathin', as my daddy would say. I still want to understand the difference and how they paid allegedly $450,000 cash out of their accounts and yet now owe that same amount for a decrepit building. But all of that pales when compared to the most recent article in the Dispatch on September 16th of 2023 and the promises at the September board meeting on the 21st of the CVB, where Carpenter, in response to the Tom Bigby Tales podcast on the missing signs dated 12 September, states the money in question for the Tennessee Williams statue, a gift from Miss Dixie Butler, sits safely in the foundation accounts. She reports in the same September 16th article, the gift of $75,000 is with the foundation and, quote, none of the donation has been spent. She reiterated that in the second half of this month's board meeting on 21 September. However, after a close examination of the fiscal year September 2024 budget worksheet approved by the foundation's board from their late spring meeting, the gift is not listed, nor is the project for the bench for the Tennessee Williams statue even mentioned. According to the Dispatch article, the project is to begin in 2024. Even if it was potentially delayed, the gift would still be reflected, and it is conspicuously missing. The Monroe Crypt project is there, and its monies from 2022 and 2023 are reflected on the 2024 budget worksheet, but not a single mention of Butler's gift. The Friends of CCHF, the foundation gifts, are listed for 2022 and 2023 and total less than about $5,000. There is no mention of the $75,000 Butler gift or the statue anywhere on the worksheets. Where is the money? Why is nothing ever clearly evident or remotely transparent about monies in the care or responsibility of CVB director and Cultural Community Heritage Foundation volunteer director, Nancy Luke Carpenter? Where is the money for the promised commissioned work? Is this another untruth by Carpenter? Why is nothing ever truly transparent where CVB director Nancy Luke Carpenter is involved? I think an outside forensic audit might be in order to find that $75,000 because her words do not match the budget worksheet at either the foundation or the CVB.